Mm-hmm. Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's a pleasure to see you all. It's a pleasure to meet you all. And I've had your previous conversation. It's just a piece of cake to hear your English, and we have a lot to learn from you. Really. uh, if you don't mind, I will start. We have a guest here, Annabelle S. Downs. Can you hear us? Or no?
Hello,
Oh,
good
yes.
afternoon, sir. I'm here. Thank you so much for joining me here.
Uh, how did you club, by the way?
By my friends of Eliza, she asked me to join this. So this is my first time to listen about Toastmaster.
Ah, this is your first time. That's pretty
Oh,
good.
yes, sir.
It's really good. And you have a Toastmaster in your country? What country it is, by the way?
I'm from Philippines, but I'm currently working in Singapore.
Uh-huh. Okay, pretty good. Thanks for this.
Thank
Uh,
you.
yeah, I must remind that we have just a bit of joint meeting with our fellow Toastmasters from Odessa, and we are pleased to have them there in our agenda. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Sergii. Thank you, Pavlo. I see Sergei Radchenko, Sergei Golovatyuk, and Pavlo Goncharov. Yes? Can you just introduce yourself if you don't mind? What about the weather in Odessa, and do you have your meetings there, by the way? Sergey, can you?
Yes, thank you, Yuri. The weather in Odessa is hot. We have more degrees. And what about our meetings? Yesterday we have great meetings for Ukrainian, and we have special guest, our area director Natalia Porobocha, and she win of our table topic session with the big struggle, with good struggle, and we glad to see and hear her in our club, and think what you also can join to our meeting, maybe in Ukrainian, maybe in English, because today, yeah, usually we create our traditional English meeting, but then we invite, let's invite us in your club, give us the roles, and we glad to be here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Sergey. Pavlo, can you hear us from Odessa, Pavlo?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm a member of Odessa,
Yeah.
speaking
I
Toastmasters
see
Odessa.
that you're facing a great challenge to be a grammarian here. Just
Yes,
introduce
especially in your
yourself
club, of
and
course, yes. So now I'm not living in Odessa now, despite I'm the member of Odessa Speakers Club. Now I live in Kropivnitsky, is the center of Ukraine, former Kirovograd. And I think about starting new Toastmasters Club here, because I really miss offline meetings.
you mean English
This is
or Ukrainian in Kirovograd?
it's hard to say. It will depend on the, I don't know how to say it in Ukrainian, spros, on
Demand,
on demand.
supply.
Yes, how much people want to have a meeting in what language, actually. So I'm here, and I believe I will return to Odessa someday, because I really miss this city. And now I'm glad to see all of you, and it's an honor to me to be a grammarian here today. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, have we got any guests here? Let me see. Maria Kushch, can you hear us?
Yes, hello.
Hello, just introduce yourself
Of course.
if you have a minute or two.
Hello, my name is Maria, and it's my second time I here in Dnipro Hills. and I really enjoy English speaking clubs and also Ukrainian speaking clubs because I'm we might be the PR manager in Rocher, so I like to speak and I like oratory clubs, and I interested in languages, so I learned French also as English and German, and I'm really glad to see you today. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. So many languages. Thank you. Thank you, really. And let's come back to Odesa. Sergii Goncharov, just can you introduce yourself?
Hello, guys. I am from Odessa. I am Sergii Goncharov. I visited Odessa, Best Odessa Speakers Club more than 7 years. I was PR manager, vice president PR in this club for many years, but now I'm active participant of all meetings, and it's not the first time when I am with you guys, but I am glad to see all of you. You have very high level of meetings, and I very appreciate to participate.
Yeah, it's really, we have 5 DTMs, yes, blessing. Am I right? 5 DTMs for today. It's really cool. It's just very challenging. Native speakers. As far as I see, we have one more guest, Don A. Can you introduce yourself? Can you hear us, by the way? Don?
Oh, yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Are you here? Just would you be so kind to introduce yourself? Tell us about.
Can we do it later? Can we do it later? I'm staying in the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen right now.
We have
doing some kitchen work. Later. Give me a few minutes.
Later. Okay, no problem. So no problem. Maybe later. So guests are introduced, and now it's time to pass the control to our Toastmaster of the day, to Dag. Dag, please. Your time.
Good evening, good morning, whatever it is with you. I've just had a cup of tea brought to me, which is lovely. It's better than your kitchen, eh? Now, first of all, I notice we don't have a sergeant at arms, so I'll just say it very quickly. Please, everybody switch their mobile phones off. I'm going to switch mine off, switch it off. There, it's off now. Landlines, pull the wire out. If you have a landline, pull the wire out, because I have been caught that way many times. Alexa, if you have Alexa, please pull the plug out of your Alexa, because it will disturb whatever you're doing. It's happened to me many times. It's a good idea to examine where your nearest exit is. I say this in all honesty because there could be a fire, and in Ukraine anything could happen. Make sure you know where your exit is. Make sure you know where your fire extinguishers are. In my house, I have 6 fire extinguishers. A friend of mine was caught very badly, and I learned the lesson. Check where your fire extinguishers are. If you haven't got fire extinguishers, get them. Very, very important. Mute at all times. Please, everybody mute at all times. And I would ask the host of the meeting, is it Licia is the host? Yes. Licia, would you keep a check, please, to make sure everybody is muted? Because it's very disturbing when somebody is speaking and then the baby starts crying. Okay, we know all about that. And to clap, we use, I don't know what we use here, but we use jazz hands, and I do that sometimes. But that is what we do to clap and have a great meeting. Let's get on straight away. And I'm using a tablet for the first time. And the thing I don't like about tablets is every time you go to look at them, the screen is blank. So there we are. And then you've got to do the whole thing all over again to open it up to see what's next. But I do know what's next is to introduce our counter, who is Sergii Radchenko. Please welcome Sergii.
Hello, thank you, Dave. Today I'm your counter, and I hear and listen very carefully your speech in table topic table topic session, and when you give us prepare speech, when you give us evaluation speech, and I listen some sounds so, but, and special words like actually, like, you know, because, and many different sounds and filler words. And in the end of the meeting, and give you my feedback. That's all. Thank you. Thank you. Back to you. Back.
Dick, I think you are muted.
Everybody clap. Nobody claps in this club. What's going on? You were the one I was looking at mostly. Nobody claps. I want everybody clapping. I want everybody going mad. Would you please welcome your timer for today, who is Dmytro Nazarenko. Good Lord, this is terrible. Nazarenko. Tell us what timing is all about.
Yes, of course. So my name is Dmytro Nazarenko, and I'm your timer for today to help you keep track of the time whilst you are giving your speech. It's not my first time participating in an online meeting of the club, but it is my first time being part of the technical team. But back to business, let me walk you through the time limits that we have set for each of the type of speeches that we have planned for today. First of all, we have the prepared speeches. Once those who have prepared, who are giving their prepared speech are 5 minutes into their speech, they will see a green background. Once you are 6 minutes into your speech, you will see this yellow background. And once you are 7 minutes into your speech, you will see the red background, which in more important international speech contests would mean that you would have to finish your speech as soon as possible, but we are slightly more relaxed towards that here. So then next we have the impromptu speeches. And you are normally minutes to answer a question that you may be asked. So once you are 1 minute into your speech, you will see the green background. Once you are 1.5 minutes, you will see the yellow background, and after 2 minutes, you will see the red background. The system here also goes so that after each of the impromptu speech, you are given an impromptu evaluation, which normally lasts for 1 minute. So once you are half a minute, 30 seconds into your evaluation speech, you will see the green background. After 45 seconds, you will see the yellow background, and after 1 minute, you will see the red background. There are also some limits for the evaluation speeches: 2 minutes green background, 2.5 minutes yellow background, and red background for 3 minutes. And that is basically it for me. Toastmaster, take it away.
Brilliant, Dmytro. You have a very, what we call in the UK, a very upmarket accent. I don't know where you got it from. When you say so, you say so. So I would say, which is wonderful. It sounds lovely, but you sound very expensive and as if you went to one of the top schools in Britain. Erica's agreeing with me. That's lovely. Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to speak, I'm very, very easy about people interrupting, but I would ask you to put your hand up. Please don't interrupt me straight away just by talking. Just put your hand up. That is protocol on Zoom. And I will let you talk. Don't worry. And no, I won't let Kevin speak. I won't let Kevin speak at all. Let's get on now to our grammarian, who is Pavlo Goncharov from Best Odesa Speakers. Pavlo.
Dear Toastmasters, as a grammarian, my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listen careful to the language usage. I'll take note on any minuses of the English language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, saying. Honestly, I'm just reading this instruction. I'm not sure I will find something outstanding, because now everything is outstanding for me, but I'll try. As a grammarian, also my duty is to introduce the word of the day, and today's word of the day is the word totally. That means completely. The synonyms to this word is completely or entirely. You can also use these synonyms in your speeches. How to use the word totally? For example, no nations is totally safe from crime. In Ukrainian, it's жодна країна в світі не є цілком вільною від злочинності. Other examples. 2 years ago, my life totally changed. Some of these problems were never totally overcome. And the last example, what I did next was totally spontaneous. So please use the word of the day in your speeches, and I will give you feedback at the end of the meeting. Thank you very much. Give me a second. I give the floor to our Toastmaster.
Lovely. Yullionaire, you're not clapping at all. What is the matter? Can you not hear? Yullionaire, you're looking. Oh, is that a photograph, Yullionaire, or is it you? No, it is you. It is you. That's lovely. I love everybody clapping. I love everybody clapping. So totally lovely word. Today, I am temporarily and totally and tremendously terrific. Did you take note of that, Mr. Grammarian? That is 4 T's in a row. That's lovely. Alicia, would you like me to introduce the speeches, or would you like the grammarian to introduce the speeches, please?
You can introduce, yeah.
Okay. Well, the first speech, let's get on to the main meat of the evening or the morning, which is, and the main meat of the meet means the most important part of the meeting. I'll use little bits of vernacular now and then, just so you get used to them. But the strange thing about the Irish accent is that the Irish accent is the best English you will ever hear outside of Aberdeen in Scotland. 2 places you will hear the best English spoken is in Ireland and Aberdeen, because we have no natural vernacular. Dialect, it's called dialect. We don't say silly things. We say very direct English. But the first speech is from the persuasive influence part, level 1. Project number 3, evaluation and feedback. The title is How to Be Persuasive, and your speaker for 5 to 7 minutes is Oleksandr Myronchuk.
Toastmaster and guests, have you ever wondered what makes a speech persuasive? What is it that makes us sit up and take notice, nod our heads in agreement, and even take action? Well, today I am here to tell you all about the art of persuasive speaking. A persuasive speech is the type of speech where the goal is to convince the audience to accept speaker's point of view or perform a desired action. The speaker uses words and visual guides the audience thoughts and actions. Persuasive speech relies on 3 forms of rhetoric: ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos is the speaker's credibility. An effective speaker proves the audience they're an expert on the topic and deserve the audience's attention. For instance, when delivering a speech about the art of persuasive speaking, you can emphasize your credibility by mentioning that you attend a notable level within Toastmaster. This accomplishment will establish your expertise and enhance the likelihood of your audience paying close attention inside close attention to insight that you're about to share. Pathos is the speaker's ability to appeal the audience emotions. The speaker uses feelings such as compassion or fear to connect with and persuade the listeners. For instance, one way is to tell a joke that makes them laugh. Did you hear about the claustrophobic astronauts? He just needed a little space. Or you can add something that makes listeners a bit scared or worried in your speech. It can encourage them to do something about it. Become a public speaking superstar. Join exclusive course led by a world-renowned speaker. Offered once a year, limited spots. Only 3 lucky individuals will train with the master. Enroll now and seize your chance to greatness. Alternatively, you can share stories in your speech. Stories can catch people's attention and make them know more. For example, picture this: you're standing in front of the audience, heart is pounding, mind racing, you've forgotten your lines. What do? I've been there and I have tricks that instantly capture audience attention. And here you put the rest of your story. Logos is the speaker's ability to use logic and reasoning to convince an audience. They would use examples and supporting evidence to make their argument and to prove audience why it's true. One example: if you're wondering why you should join the Dnipro Hills Club, here you have the opportunity to practice speaking in front of the audience, and that will give you a real experience. You will receive expert feedback to help you improve your speeches. Lastly, you will learn precise steps needed to elevate the quality of your speeches. But it's not just about what you say, it's also about how you say it. Speakers can also use nonverbal cues, tone, confidence, and surrounding environment to influence their listeners. So, there you have it. The 3 key ingredients for a compelling speech: ethos, pathos, logos. And now that you know what they are, you'll be able to spot them in action next time you hear a persuasive speech. Back to stage.
Short and sweet, Oleksandr. That was totally terrific. In fact, it was touchingly tremendous. Did you like that, Mr. Grammarian? We have now, it's customary to have 1 minute where we can just jot down, that means to put down, to write down your thoughts in chat, please, for 1 minute. Mr. Timer, would you please give me 1 minute and show me the red light at 1 minute? So 1 minute, send your thoughts in chat to Oleksandr. And we also have the proper evaluation. Sorry, Alicia. Sorry,
I'm not in chat, in Google Form. In Google Form.
In group form.
There is a Google Form in chat, and we ask to fill Google Form.
Good. Google Form. Oh, fine. I'm not familiar with that, but yes, fill in the Google Form as is customary in this club. Thank you. 1 minute, please.
1 minute starting now.
Thank you very much, Dmytro. That's very good. That's 1 minute. And now we have the second speaker who will be delivering Strategic Relationship Pathway Level 2. It's project number 3, if you're following this. And it's called the Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. The title of the speech is Reflection. The time is 5 to 7 minutes. And the speaker, please, huge welcome to Eliza Rocher.
Have you ever think, what will you do after you get your DTM? Okay, not DTM. Let's go a little bit now. What would you like to do after you finish your first pathways? Any ideas? My fellow friends, a very good afternoon or morning, wherever you are. I joined Toastmaster only 4 years this November. But last year, in my second year, I got double DTM. But after my area director finished, I asked myself, what will happen after this? What would like to do for this after this? Many people told me, go for the higher level of leadership. Not many people want to go for higher leadership, not because they don't want to, but this is all the commitment that you need to give. It's easy to have the title, but to produce, to be responsible, and to take care of the members is not that easy. And for me, I'm not ready yet. But the things that happened to me was so fortunate. Everything in Toastmaster, with the help of all the friends, and especially my mentor, everything becomes so easy. Finishing 4 pathways, because I have a lot of friends around the world who like this, Dnipro, give me an opportunity to give a speech, to finish my pathways. And I also have a lot of friends that give me the opportunities to be a leader in another part of the world. But after that, I realized this is something can finish anytime. You only become a club president for 1 year. After that, you become immediate past president. What can you do? I go and ask my mentor. Hi, mentor. You know, you have a great student like me. I already go very far. What should I do? And you as a mentor, what do you think about me? And he looked at me and said, well, you're not going to stop your journey, and journey is still long. Then I realized after that, the things that I learned is still small thing. That there is many things that I need to learn, even in speaking, even in relationship, even how to communicate with more people. My mentor told me, Eliza, don't ever easy to go for satisfaction. You always tell yourself, I need more, and I need to learn more. Even you're already going high, stay humble. When I look at him, is it you jealous with me because you are still not DTM? And I'm totally wrong. It's totally wrong. Because he doesn't want to be a DTM. He wants to serve his life for the members. And he wants to help the members to grow rather than to take the higher position which make him stress. Then I look at him, he is right. And now I come back to myself. With no title, can I still serve the members? Can I still be the mentor? Can, the best part, can I share the knowledge that I have, the experience that I get, sharing with all the people? And the best part, opportunities that I have, can I share with people? Do I have a big heart to share everything with others? I ask you a question. If one day you meet a VIP, will you just tell Eliza, this is the number phone of this VIP and you can meet them? Not everybody will do that. And that's the challenge for me. When I look at my mentor, he just told me that nothing is permanent. Life is just like water. There is a time you are in the up, sometimes you are in down. But just walk and always think that you are not enough. And with that, you are not enough to learn, but you are rich to share with everyone. With that, people will respect you more, and your life will be more better, happy, because sharing is caring, and you can do totally different than others. When you can take this journey and totally serve yourself with all the members, you'll feel happy. And now I realize that's the happen. When I reflect on my journey, all the thing is nothing. But when I can help the members, when I can mentor the members, all the proteges, help them to get pathway, get them to get a DTM, or give the opportunities for them to become a club coach, club mentor, club sponsor, charter a club. When you give and touch the other people's life, whatever achievement you have, it will feel nothing. Compare the smile in their face. When I helped my friend and he became DTM and he told me, Eliza, thank you. It's much more happy and it's much more satisfying when I get my own DTM. Because if I got my own DTM, I'm the one who only can wall the things and I just look, oh, I'm a DTM. But when others become a DTM and say thank you to you, you know that you help others and it will be more happening. So my fellow friends, what will you do after this? Reflect about it. Sometimes it's not about us. It's not about ourselves, but how we can benefit to the world and to all the people around us. What is the things that you want to do for others? Back to you.
Sergei, you're not clapping. What's going on here? I like to see plenty of clapping and screaming and shouting. That encourages the speaker, and the speaker will be much better the next time, even better than she was. That was totally titillating. It was tinglingly top class, Elisa. Mr. Grammarian, have you taken note of that? And welcome, Purple, by the way. Welcome, Purple. You're walking around. It's lovely. You're walking around in the park. That's marvelous. May I suggest... you didn't hear. Purple, if you want to speak, just put your hand up like that, right? So I can see it, and then you can speak as much as you like. Okay? But please...
I'm not Purple, actually. I'm Dnipro Hills member Liudmyla Kushch, who has one more account. So...
You didn't hear what I said, did you? If you want to speak...
Well, I give you the hand, so...
No, but I'm speaking. I've got my hand up. You see, that's Zoom etiquette. If a person has got their hand up, you don't speak because you can only...
I'm being extremely rude.
Whoa! You only hear one voice at a time on Zoom. Go ahead. Speak.
So, can you repeat the question, please?
Question was?
Because I'm table topic master for today. Of course, I can answer wherever.
I'm not sure of what you said. I know you're table topics master today. That's lovely. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But that was lovely. We've just had a speech by wait now, I got this. I'm using this for the first time, folks, and it is absolute. Every time I look at it, the screen is blank. So I've got to open it up yet again. I know I should go into settings and set it so that it doesn't. So we've just had the second speech from Eliza, which was lovely. And we've got the table topics, who is Liudmyla. They've got it, Liudmyla. That's lovely. That's beautiful. Thank you. And we get on now to the most interesting part. This is oh, I was just going to say to Eliza very quickly, Eliza, you've got a little bit of digital distortion on your microphone. Very easy to sort that out. I'm sure it's digital distortion. Just go into the audio settings, which is the bottom left-hand icon where the microphone is. Just click on there and you audio settings, and just take the level down only a tiny little bit. Because digital distortion just breaks up. It doesn't distort. It just breaks up completely. I'm sure that's your issue, and it will be then perfect. But that was a lovely speech. I like that. So the first evaluation, which I use for 3 minutes, and it's going to be the speech which was given by Oleksandr in just a few minutes ago. I hope you're ready for 3 minutes. Would you please welcome Abhijit Roy?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good morning, everyone. Today, I have a very special task to undertake, to give an evaluation in the way of ethos, pathos, and logos. Well, I never really wondered that a persuasive speech will have 3 key elements of ethos, pathos, and logos. Well, jokes apart, I was aware of it. But the main thing is that I wasn't aware that ethos, pathos, and logos will all be implemented in such a beautifully crafted speech, which Oleksandr just delivered a few minutes ago. It was a wonderful speech to listen to. Why? Is something that I will just be unrevealing the secrets behind it. Number 1, Oleksandr explained why a speech is persuasive. He explained the ethos, the pathos, and the logos with the way of illustrative examples. Initially, I was just of the opinion that ethos will just be the credibility of the speakers, pathos will be the ability to persuade the listeners, and logos will be just about logic. But then, what came in after that was illustrative examples. That is something which a great speaker can put into the speeches. The second part was his seriousness to deliver a speech standing. We know we are in the virtual setup and we just have about a 4-inch screen, either a laptop or a tablet or a mobile phone. But then to show that push to deliver a speech standing at the comfort of your home, something takes a lot of courage. And Oleksandr, I would like to congratulate you for that. And number 3 was through the way of body language. There were some points which I could see where Oleksandr looked at the left and the right, and then he waved his hands. That was a job well done. So good examples to ensure that the speech is indeed persuasive, how a persuasive speech is being delivered, to show body hand gestures, and at the same time, to ensure the seriousness of a speech. But here it comes of what is more important is the seriousness of Toastmaster Oleksandr to make sure that he deliberates speeches even better in his future. And that is, when you give a speech, the best way to connect with the audience is through the way of your story, my friend. When you explain ethos, pathos on logos, had you put in your examples to connect with, it would have been slightly more impactful. Think about it. And the second part is a little bit of voice modulation. With the highs and the lows, your persuasive speech would have been even brought in more persuasion. Think again. I'm sure, Oleksandr, we're looking forward to you to become the world champion of public speaking one day. Congratulations, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Abhijit, that was totally tantalizing. It was terribly good. You're very, very, what is the word I can use? You're very timid, Dmytro, on the timing. In my club, we have, if you go 30 seconds over, we have that. Well, better still, we have that. And if that doesn't shut the person up, we have. That certainly stops people. Alicia, you're unmuted. And somebody else.
I'm pretty sure that none of them has been used, Deck.
Abhijit, if you want to speak, just put your hand up. Yeah, go on.
I'm saying I hope none of the ringing bells was supposed to be used because I was probably on time.
You will see in a few moments when the timing will be given. But it was a lovely speech, Abhijit, lovely speech. But now we get on to the next evaluator, and that is my friend, the good man, and he's all the way from the north of England. Would you please welcome for 3 minutes, please, Mr. Kevin Baggs.
I'll take it down now. Okay, I'm going to evaluate Eliza's speech, which was entitled Reflection. Before I actually do that, one thing we don't do in this club, but other clubs do, is to read out what the objectives of the speech are, exactly what they are. And I'm going to do it this time because this was meant to be about a time that she was a protege. Now, whilst this was, I think, a decent speech, I don't think it was about that. I don't think it actually covered the project particularly well. It was more about mentoring in general rather than being a protege. But that's, you don't pass or fail in Toastmasters. So it was a decent enough speech. Let's look at the speech and evaluate what we heard and saw. So we started with a question which got you thinking, what would you do after you've been a DTM? And maybe then it went on to say, well, you know, maybe not everyone wants to be a DTM. So what would you do after you finish your first pathway? Again, that then brought everybody into the equation. And I know for a fact the question made our Zoom master here think about whether she wants to be a DTM. So it certainly achieved its objective with the rhetorical question in the beginning. Then we heard that Eliza is a double DTM. Well, there you are. That tells us quite a lot, doesn't it? Now we come to my first recommendation. She said when she'd spoken to her mentor that she's not ready for higher leadership. Right, well, I don't know what she meant by higher leadership. So I think that's something that should have been explained. I've been in Toastmasters for 15 years or 16. I don't know how long it is. So when she said higher leadership, I don't know what she meant because you've already got to have been higher leadership just to be a DTM. So I'm not quite sure where she meant by that. That's a thing in my mind. When my next recommendation is when there was voices, there was a dialogue between mentor and mentee. I would have liked to have seen it either looking one way, looking the other way, or use of voices, or something like that, standing up and looking each way, but so that we can see when one person's talking very easily. And my final recommendation, I always give 3 to a DTM, is that gestures were down here. There were gesturing plenty, I think, going on. But what was going on with those hands? I'm not really sure. Let's see him in view. Let's see him in view. Let's get the gestures. Stand up, maybe, like was suggested earlier, or whatever you've got to do to make those gestures be seen. Like my hand has still got to be up. Sorry about that, Deck. So she told us there's many things still to learn, and I like that. But what I actually really liked about this was the best, my most favourite part of this speech was first of all the rule of 3, but also whilst using the rule of 3, can I share, can I share, can I share, she used anaphora. Now, the best speakers used anaphora to persuade, and this was used to persuade, and it was used effectively very well. If you take nothing else from this speech, if you don't even want to be mentoring or mentor, take away the rule of 3 using anaphora, and you will become a better speaker, ladies and gentlemen. So what I also just finish off here, I saw a confident speaker with smiles, and she finished up by making sure that we considered what we can do for others. It's a really good thing to do. Well done, Eliza. But think about next time actually attaining the objectives you're given, rather than just writing a brilliant speech. Over to you, Deck.
That was really good. Oh, Alexander, I think you've lost your hands, Alexander, have you? Oh, no, he's doing it now. That's good. That's good. Well, that was terrific. Yeah, I take your point, Kevin. A lot of clubs make great. I'll have to check my English here. A lot of clubs give the complete objectives. I personally like that. And a lot of clubs ask the evaluator to give the objectives and the evaluator to introduce. I personally like that way of doing it. But then other clubs, they don't like wasting the time. That's no problem. But honestly, Kevin, that was timidly and totally and temporarily twinned with good. Did you like that? Mr. Grammarian? No, you're not smiling, Kevin. You're not smiling. You should smile. Lovely. So let's get on with the next part, which terrifies a lot of people. A lot of people love it. I personally love it. And I think it's tremendous. And I would like to introduce to do your table topics for the next 30 minutes, which means we should be finishing just coming up to half past the next hour. Would you please welcome, and she will tell you all about the table topics, and please welcome Liudmyla.
Kushch. Hello, everyone. Do you
Did I get that? Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, if I were like, English, I would call the bush. It's the same. Well, can you hear me, guys? Can you see me? Oh, yeah, nice. Well, I know the topic of today's meeting, so I want to add some details. If we are talking about, shots, drinks, and time spent with someone, why not we talk about friendship? I've been in Ireland for 10 weeks now, and like the last 3 weeks, the main topic about my being here, it's friendship. Would I rather be friends with Ukrainians, or would I rather make friends with local people? So believe me, I have a lot of stuff to tell you about that, but it's not my job. Table topic session, especially for those who are here for the first time, is more about be ready to speak on your feet. It's more about impromptu speaking. So I'd like to start with a quote, then I'll announce the question, and within 2 minutes, you'll have to make your short speech, including clear beginning, the middle part, and the conclusion. It would be perfect, guys, if you would include the word of the day and your personal experience, which is extremely important. As far as I'm from my smartphone, I don't see people. So Lesia will help me. You will be raising hands who would like to answer the questions. And after each speaker, we'll give time to evaluator to evaluate, because evaluation is extremely important on our way of becoming really great speakers. We must hear feedback to know how good we were, and we must improve our speaking. Well, let us start. So my quote is, friendship is the hardest thing in the world to explain. It's not something you learn in school, but if you haven't learned the meaning of friendship, you really haven't learned anything. Let's talk about friendship in your life. So the first question would be like that. What do you think about the saying, 100 friends is better than $1,000 or euros or pounds or 1 million hryvnias, wherever? Well, the question is, 100 friends is better than $1,000. Who would like to be the first to answer my question? Raise your hand, and Lesia, please help me. So who would be the first speaker? 100 friends is better than $1,000. Can't hear volunteers.
I think we should pick someone.
Well, let's pick someone, please.
Okay, I knew that Sergei Golovachuk, he is without any role for today. Sergei, maybe you can tell us something about friends.
Well, Sergei, you're the first foot, gentleman. Go.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for such interesting question. I started with the joke. If you have 100 friends, you can lend from them more than $100. That's why 100 friends better. If you have rich friends, rich not only with money, but with soul, you have not only money from them, you have pleasure, interested, good time, rest, hobbies, and more things. So for me, friends, it's more than relatives, because sometimes our relatives not our friends, and you have very big pleasure if your relative, if your wife, it's your best friends. But if not, you should find out friends somewhere. For example, in Best Odesa Speakers Club or Dnipro Hills or Toastmasters Club. And I really appreciate Toastmaster clubs that I can find it there a lot of good friends. And really, I started one project and I named it 1 Million Life. And one day in a week, we spend together like friends, and we have a good time, like the best day of week. And it's really good, the best time for me, and my time separated on that small parties. And I remember during week only this one day, because all another week I forget about it because it's boring. So I really wish that you guys have 100 friends and more, and all of them could be in Toastmasters or even wider. Totally, it's a best experience in my life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A really good answer. Really, when we make families, your wife or your husband has to become the best friend for you. Totally agree. Not your mom, not your sister, and ladies, not your divorced friends. Never, never, never. Well, the second question, we go deeply into friendship, but before, let's evaluate Sergei's speech. Raise your hand who wants to give your feedback, and please, Lisa, help me one more time. So, welcome to evaluate Sergei's speech.
Eric has his hand up, Alicia. Eric has his hand up. I had it up the last time as well.
Yes, super. Please, welcome.
And who do I have? 1 minute for this? Is this 1 minute evaluation? Okay.
I think
all
1
right,
minute,
so,
not more than a minute and a half, please.
Okay. All right. So what did I like about this? First of all, he kind of identified the question to us a little bit more and really said, why does this question make any sense? In saying that friends are critical. He described everything sort of as friends is critical to his life. He's going to give us a life experience introduction, which is very important because he didn't even bother talking about the money part of it. I think it wouldn't have mattered to him if it was $1,000 or $10,000, or I don't know, maybe when you get into the millions, it might matter. But I think largely he was talking about this being the essence of his life. Why we exist is to be around other people. And that's what makes life valuable and worth living. I also like he gave personal examples in his life about the clubs and why he's involved with this. And then the reminder of friends in his life where it touched his point. So he kind of hit it on all surfaces. It was very positive and I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm extremely happy to have you in our club today, Eric. So my second question goes straight to you. What are ingredients of a good, real friendship? You are an experienced guy. So tell us, what are ingredients of a good, real, high-quality friendship for you? Welcome.
Can I answer that question?
Yeah.
I'm past my 40. You know what a really good friend is? When you need to borrow money, you can borrow money from that friend. That's a really good friend.
Well,
And,
but
and,
not
and
only.
actually, I think I only have one friend that can do that, and it's not very. It's what's around $200. But when it comes to bigger sum of money, I think it's only your family or relative who can lend you those money these days. So answer to your question, there's not really good friends in our today's society.
Well, thank you very much. But a friend, it's not just someone who will lend you money. Well,
yeah, but when you need to,
Liudmyla.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Liudmyla
waiting. Yes. Eric, please.
So ultimately, when we think of friendship, let's think of another concept of emotional intelligence. Okay, what is emotional intelligence? It's kind of how we relate to each other. So we can talk about one of the components of that is empathy. All right, so we feel for another person. Another part of it is the emotions that surround that person and how we deal with them. And it's also sort of a need, right? Because we need other people, so we want to be around those people. And that's how they become friends to us. So it hits along all those components. And I think I agree with Dawn, maybe in the respect of if you were in need, the friend is somebody that comes to you when no one else will, right? So I've always made the point that a lot of people have all these Facebook and Instagram friends, but how many of them will come to the hospital? Never mind the lending of the money. How many will come to the hospital if you're sick? How many will bring you warm borscht if you are in the hospital bed and you are suffering? How many will come and talk to you about the future that's going to be better? So that to me is the friendship, this boundary of emotional intelligence. This is why I don't fear AI, for example, because I can't be friends with AI, because AI is incapable of basically understanding me at the level of another human being that I would call my friend. So that's my answer. Thank you.
Yes, totally agree. Now, here in Ireland, I'm living as a community of Ukrainians. And after 10 weeks, I came to conclusion that I can't have friends among Ukrainian women. They are all jealous. But I still can make friends with Irish men, and I've got a couple of good Ukrainian guys and good Irish people. So that's why I decided to stop being friends with women, because, men are not well, let me stop at that and give opportunity to evaluate our Eric, because your speech, Eric, was really profound and deep. Perfect. Who would like to evaluate
maybe Dawn
Eric's
should
speech?
respond.
Uh-huh.
Dawn, do you want to answer it? Maybe you should, because I gave you a little more info than you did originally.
I would say if I consider that person to my close friend, and one day he's homeless, I will actually ask him to come over and stay in my room or apartment if I can provide him with a room or apartment. But then I noticed even my closest friend, which I consider to be closest friend from the age of 20, they don't let me stay in their home, even if they have a room or a home. In Asia, for example. I mean, in Asia, this apartment thing, I don't know what I mean, because I have lived in Shanghai, and one time I was almost in that winter. I was almost facing to become homeless because we had problem to pay the next month's rent. If we can't pay them next month's rent, then we will definitely be homeless, me and my girlfriend. So I tested all my friends and relatives, and Those who can lend me money were actually my best friends and relatives at that situation. And it was actually only one friend who lent me money, and the other friends didn't lend me money. So friendship. What can I say about friendship? Friendship is yeah.
It's still
Eric, you
painful
answer that.
subject. It's still painful subject, guys.
I'm sorry?
It is still painful subject because you can consider someone to be your friend and you are helpful for him, but when you need just a slight help, this person shows his, back and goes away. That's it.
Yes, and they obviously at that moment, I succeed. I borrowed $500 from one of my relatives in Shanghai, and it saved the situation. But I was actually asking for $1,000, but she only can lend me $500.
Okay, well, thank you, Don. Ima, I think we're done with this speech. Liudmyla, please move on. Thank you.
Yes,
Next
move
question.
on. Well, the next one. Let's now talk about a very, tricky question. The friendship.
Luda.
You don't hear me?
Alicia, you have the floor.
Yeah. Luda, I think we should give at least some feedback of how Eric and Don react as a speaker. So who can be like evaluator for Don's kind of speech or discussion? Please show me who can be.
Lisa, Don was evaluating me. He just happened to go into making a different speech, but he was evaluating me.
Okay,
Right?
okay, because
I think that was it. So let's just move on to the next question. Yeah, it got a little confusing, but I think that was the situation. So let's just move to a new question. Does everybody agree? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we move to the next question. I see Luda is trying to join. Yeah, Luda, if you are with us, we are ready.
Yes. Again, well, the third question would be tricky. The friendship between a man and a woman, is it possible? How it can be possible? And can you still be friends with each other, a man or a woman, without any sexual relationship? Who has experienced that? Please share. Because it's a tricky one. We women consider that we can be friends with men, but they have other stuff in mind. I'd like to hear two people about this topic, a man and a woman. Maybe a lady would like to start, Lisa. See.
Good question.
Natalie wants to.
Oh, super. Fantastic, Natalie. Go on.
Okay. If there is no friendship between man and woman, where to find friends at all? I can understand and I can sympathize with Dmytro, who experiences that jealousy from other women. I don't have many friends, women friends, girlfriends, but all my girlfriends, they are not jealousy, and they are not, they are feminine, but they are not totally totally like divas. Those girls who show out themselves to be very feminine, to be very well done with all those salons and so on and so on. Why? Because I don't know what to talk about with those women. That is why the majority of my friends are the guys. They are married, they are not married. Some of them are my brothers or cousins. Some of them are much older than I am. Some of them are much younger than I am. Doesn't matter. It just, what matters is the person. And I know that usually when there's a man nearby, he wouldn't think of the weird skirt I put on today. He wouldn't think of my makeup or the absence of makeup on my face today. He wouldn't think even of my puffiness if I have it. I rarely have it, but sometimes. Because it's a guy. This guy the guy has totally different direction of his thoughts and of what to interact with me about. So that is why I think that, yes, of course, sometimes, maybe even often, the friends, man and woman, would think sometimes, somehow, somewhere about that intercourse, but mostly you can manage it, you can forget about it, and you can stay just friends. And I think that's amazing. Back to you.
Thanks a lot. Great. We are smart ladies, Natalie. That's why we can be friends with men. Other women, cannot all the time. Well, who wants to evaluate Natalie's prominent ideas? Lisa, please, help me.
I haven't seen any raised hand, but...
So make someone responsible, Lisa. You are the teacher after all.
As you, my dear.
Yeah,
I think our president can want to say something about it. Yura, are you ready to evaluate Natalie?
Yuri, evaluate Natalie,
Yeah,
please.
thank you very much. It was really a tricky question, and I was not chosen for that to answer, but I'm chosen to evaluate it now. Thanks. Natalie, you just inserted a personal story. It's very nice that you just showed your personal example that you have friends who are men, and you just discovered that men, they perceive women from a different angle. They do not care about skirts, they don't care about makeup. They just talk to you, speak to you from a different angle, and they have perhaps some other interest they can discuss with you. It's really the thing. It's really the thing. And thanks for inserting this personal story. And I liked how you did it, how you used your vocal variety and how you used your gestures. It just made me to have a clear picture in my mind, really, just your gestures, your vocal variety. And thanks for that. Thanks for answering this tricky question, really.
Thank you very much, Yuri, for your feedback. And now I would like to hear one more person about this question, a gentleman. So, considering friendship between a man and a woman, gentlemen, want to hear your opinion. What kind of woman you are choosing to become a friend? Does she have to be sexy or just doesn't matter what qualities? Well, you prefer in a woman to become your friend, not your future sexual partner or whatever. Lisa, please help me.
I'm not sure, Don, your raising hand, you wanted to create some speech to answer this question or not?
Yes, I want to answer that question, but based on my experience about friendship between a man and a woman.
Okay.
From my experience, before 30, I was thinking to have female friends, and it should be all right to have female. A man can be friends with males and females. I mean, that's in my word, it's okay. But then I discovered, it's not that. We're talking about lesser than 5 women that I try to be friends with, but then later on, I discovered after a certain time, a year or 2 years, they usually leave me. They don't want to, when I call them, they don't want to answer the phone. That means they have, I think they put more time in their boyfriends.
Oh yeah.
You know, they don't want to deal with other male friends. They want to put more time in their family. And it not just happened with one girl, it happened with another girl, and the latest one was asking me to buy her dinner, to buy her some lunch or dinner, and I told her, you already have a husband, why do you ask me to buy your lunch? And then later on, she didn't want to talk with me.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not possible for a man and a woman to become friends in the long term.
Oh yeah. Thank you very much for your opinion. Yes, guys, after all, everyone shares his own opinion. But if, you know, you were talking about lunch, the guys I'm friends with just always buy me lunch, even if I have a husband, because it's about friendship. My Revolut card here in Ireland was blocked, and I had like 500 hryvnias for a week. So I help people with documents, and my friend bought me lunch, and that was nothing about that, you know? That's why ladies don't like greedy guys. I'm terribly sorry. But nevertheless, we are analyzing the speech, giving feedback. Who wants to? Maybe Kevin Bex would like to analyze.
I think Deck had his hand up.
Deck wanted to evaluate.
Oh, yes, please, Deck, welcome.
Deck, you muted. Deck, you're muted.
You're on mute.
Apologies, that happens all the time. Dmytro has had his hand up for 5 minutes.
I was having my hand up because I'm the timer, so that everybody could see me, basically.
So, Dick, go on.
No, that's all I wanted to say was I felt sorry for Dmytro. He seemed to have, I realize now, of course, the timer, that's the way to be. But there we are. Yeah, you want me to evaluate? Of course I will. The one thing I noticed, actually, let's say a general evaluation for everybody who's doing topics, nobody is answering the topics in a way to win competitions. And sometimes I feel that in Toastmasters, the whole idea of Toastmasters is to win the competition, the speaker of the world, the best speaker in the world, the best evaluator in the world. And nobody has actually, including the last speaker, nobody has used the word you at all. And the great thing that the winners use is you. What do you think? What do you want? What do you, instead of I. And the other point is nobody has given a message, including the last speaker. And it's very important to have you, then do the body of the evaluation, what the person should do better for a competition, and then the end should be a message. And that's my evaluation.
Fantastic. Thank you really much. Well, and the last question is about long-term relationship, long-term friendship. Like when we were children and went to the same kindergarten together, or to the same school, or to the same college. Guys, do you still have friends from that time? And do you still have something to talk about to that people? Because, you know, everything is changing, our life is changing. So let's talk about long-time friendship. Who wants to share his experience, please? Lisa, help me.
I see Abhijit. Yeah, you want it?
Good.
Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master and fellow Toastmasters. It's indeed a moment for me to cherish the old days of my early childhood times. I used to still pack my bag and go off to school with my water bottle hanging around my neck, with a half shirt and a small half shorts, with kids, and that used to be my school uniform. And along with me, I used to have a cute little friend of mine who was my neighbor. She used to come along with me, and my dad or either her dad used to drop us to the school gate. As days passed by, we grew up together in the same neighborhood. And at the same time, when we graduated from school and then college, the friendship still remained. It's all about how you think the relationship to continue. There are times when you become the best of friends, but with lots of responsibilities and times to come, you tend to forget that. You can become friends in just fraction of a minute and build that relationship to be very strong. Remember, my friends, relationships is just like making a house. It's made of bricks, mortar, and cement. And if you have to break it, it's just about a small bomb or a bulldozer. And there you go. Everything breaks down within a wink of an eye. So if you have to build relationships, long-term relationships, go ahead, call a friend, go onto your social sites, Facebook, and find one. I'm very sure if you get to meet that person once after so many years, it will certainly bring a smile on your face. So go for it, my friends. Bring a friend home and cherish those old moments with them. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you. My prize goes to you, dear friend. I got so, fascinated by your warm words and the attitude. I think you told absolute truth. Thank you one more time. God bless you. Who wants to evaluate, please? Really
Liudmyla?
deep. Oh, yeah. Go, my dear friend.
Can I ask Annabelle to do? This is her first time in Toastmaster, and yeah, that's her.
Well, please, welcome. The
Hello,
first evaluation.
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. We're talking about long relationship. How you hold long relationship, friendship. In my own experience, I know how to hold a long years relationship, but sometimes ladies have an age to cut that relationship. Example, if you are humble, if you accept everything about your partner or friends that she do this, she does this, if you accept her good or bad, I think you can have a relationship. But it's up to you if you want to end the relationship. Because relationship is not an easy. There is a time you need to sacrifice everything to make a long relationship. I don't know if I'm correct or not. I am married for almost only 16 years. And then until now, I didn't engage to anyone because I'm holding the memories of my partner. I said maybe this is a true love story. I don't know. So that's only my sharing about my long-term relationship. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. You have done your first speech at Toastmasters. It wasn't evaluation. It was a perfect speech with your own experience. Thank you. And I wish you more and more speeches. Your own story is really important. Thank you very much. But coming back to our task, guys, now we need two people. First, we'll evaluate previous gentleman's speech, and second, we'll evaluate lady's speech, because the task was to evaluate, to say how good people were at delivering short speeches. All right? Lisa, will you help me? Please. Thank you one more time and congratulations.
May I remind you, Licia, we are over time now. We've gone 2 minutes over time.
Okay, only one just evaluator of gentleman's speech. Who would like to be? Kevin. Kevin Beck, can I ask you?
Okay, sure, why not? What I liked was that it started immediately. It was meant to be a long-term relationship, but it went right back to going to school, almost at the first time of going to school, and the story of walking to school with his neighbor, a young girl who lived near him, either with his father or her father. So that was good. I like that. That was started on the right track. It became quite interesting to talk about long-term relationships in a different way, and about how it takes time to build up and you can easily destroy them. Again, I like that. It seemed to flow on in the way it should have done, and there's also an ending. So this was a good table topic. How could it improve? Well, I guess it could improve if it actually didn't exactly stick to the topic, but I think that's a good thing. So how could it improve? It could go completely off topic. That sounds really weird, but for me, a winning Decker talked about how to win district table talk. Well, I won it this year, so I probably can talk about this. And the way to do it is to do a twist. Don't actually answer the question how you'd expect to answer it, but give it a twist and come back to it at the end. And that's what would make this one a much better speech, giving it a twist. I can explain that a bit better later, perhaps.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Great. Well, thank you, everyone, for taking part in our table topic session. Of course, today it looked more like discussion, but the topic is excellent. Friendship is one of the, most precious things in life. Even if you don't have your loving partner, but you still have friends, you can feel that you live your life to the fullest. And now I'm giving control to Toastmaster of the day. Thanks, everyone, one more time.
Liudmyla, that was 5 minutes over. You naughty girl, you naughty girl.
Hello from People's Park in Limerick, Ireland. It's about Ireland, Ireland blows me off.
And may I remind you, if you want to speak, put your hands up. Please, please put your hand up. It solves a lot of problems.
It's your island, Deck. It's your island. It's not me.
I know that, but Irish people put their hand up when they want to speak. Remember when you were at school? But that was wonderful. And the topic, the theme for the day was, whoa, the best cocktail you ever had. And nobody has mentioned a cocktail at all. My best cocktail is gin martini. And whenever anybody asks me what I do for a living, I never tell them what I do for a living. I always say, I travel the world looking for the best gin martini. Remember James Bond? He says vodka martini. I say gin martini. And may I tell you, the best gin martini is in my house, obviously. But the Port Hotel in Eastbourne is unbelievable. The Kempinski Hotel in Marbella is unbelievable. Harvey Nichols in Kensington in London is unbelievable. So that's where the best cocktails are. We get on to the evaluations now, and the first evaluator is the R counter. I'm sure I was perfect, absolutely perfect. But to tell us all how we did in a time of 2 minutes, Sergii Radchenko from Best Odesa Speakers. Over to you, Sergii.
Thank you, Dek. You and all of the audience have a best cocktail with questions and feeder words, and I'll give you right now. As you, Dek, you use because 3 times, okay, 3 times, so 6 times, please, 5 times, By the way, times 1 times A, 8 times, but 4 times air, 2 times actually 1 times, and your lovely word, lovely, you repeat this word 13 times. It's really, really great. Pavlo Goncharov is our grammarian. 4 times, 1 times, because 1 times, and so 1 times. Dmytro Nazarenko, but 3 times, so 2 times, yes, 2 times, 2 times, and basically 2 times. Oleksandr Myronchuk, well, so, and but only 1 times. Annabelle, 2 times, but 2 times, because 2 times, and so 1 times. Eliza, you use okay 1 times, because 4 times, but 9 times, 2 times, so 2 times. Natalia Porobosha, you use okay 1 times, but 3 times, 9 times, like 2 times, because 2 times, so 1 times, and well 1 times. Yura Boychuk, 4 times, just 4 times, and 3 times, really 2 times, and 1 times. Abhijit, you use but 4 times, just 6 times. Kevin Babs, okay 1 times, but 5 times, well 2 times, 7 times, and so 4 times. And Odesa, you don't have a role today, but you sometimes help deck and help any person who is the roles. 3 times, okay 2 times, so, but, and here 1 times. And maybe that's all, but Liudmyla Kushch as a table topic master, because 10 times, well, 15 times, really 3 times, please, 4 times, 8 times, you repeat that word 11 times, so 9 times, yes, 4 times, super, 2 times, just 2 times, and but 11 times. And tabletop, and I continue for the table topic speakers today and table topic evaluators. Golovachuk Sergei, but 2 times, 1 times, so, because, and really 2 times, and 7 times, and 3 times, and like 2 times. Okay 4 times, so 8 times, because 3 times, but 2 times, 4 times, right, 3 times. And finally Don, 9 times, and 2 times, so 4 times, really 3 times, but 3 times, okay 2 times, because just and actually 1 times. That's all. Thank you guys. I think our best cocktail is not good but not bad, but it's our life, it's our speech, and I think in future we get better with our speech and with our filler words and crush words. Back to you, Dad. Thank you.
Well, I must say, Sergei, that is the most comprehensive and totally fascinating counter I have ever heard. We have, Natalie will tell you, we have, and Kevin will tell you, we have what we call the Rottweiler in our club, and she is 94 years of age, and she is a Rottweiler as regards the counting. But that, Sergei, you absolutely beat her into a cocked hat. There's a good phrase. Let's get on to the grammarian. 4 minutes we have, and it's Pavlo Goncharov.
Thank you very much. I didn't notice much mistakes. I'll explain why. So first of all, our Toastmaster deck used the words terrific, tremendous, comprehensive, and you add so much energy to these words. It was really inspiring for all of us. Thank you very much. That was great. For our speaker, Sergei Radchenko, it's not too hard for me to give a feedback because I really know how Sergei speaks, and he hear his mistakes, meeting in Ukrainian, not for Ukrainian, Natalia won the table topic session, not win, and Lesia invited us to take part, not invite. So it's just about past tense. And also about when you gave a feedback as a counter, one time, not one times, one time, but 2 times, 3 times, and up. About past tense, word added in past tense, I noticed I noticed from a few speakers, but I believe that is maybe it was a bad connection. For example, Don A, I think said later I discovered that ed I didn't listen, but again maybe it's because of connection. And for any other speakers, I didn't find any mistakes. That's maybe because your English level is much better than mine, but I'll try to do my best later. And word of the day, Dek, Sergei Golobotyuk, Eliza, and Nadia Porobocha used the word of the day. Thank you very much. So, please, my dear audio Toastmasters.
That was wonderful. Thank you very much, Pavlo. That was terrific. And you've helped us with the time as well, which I would ask you all to help. We're just a few minutes over, but it's nice to be on time. It's very interesting for me to hear a grammarian in a foreign club, because you do pick up, I hope you understand that, you do pick up on the bad use of grammar, which is very, very interesting. In an English-speaking club, very rarely will anybody use bad grammar, but it's very, very interesting and very helpful, I would say, very helpful, considering English is my second language. I didn't speak English until I was 17 years of age, because the school I went to was completely Gaelic speaking. If you spoke English, you were expelled from the school. It was as simple as that. Let's get on to the timer. In the 2 minutes you've got, Dmytro, Nazarenko.
Yes, exactly. So, well, overall, I must say that it was quite an engaging meeting. Very, very interesting speeches to listen to, and I'd better leave it there because no, I'd better not leave it there because well, in terms of because in terms of time, there were quite a few problems, but so as not to spend a lot of time reading all of the times that everyone spent speaking, I will probably send it to everybody in the chat. There you are. Yes. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Oh, Dmytro, you've ruined all the fun. It's a bit of, I always think all of this, it's a bit of fun. Like one time in my club in Battle Speakers, the general evaluator usually takes 8 minutes. 8 minutes. And the record was set by a girl from Switzerland, and she spoke for 17 minutes and 18 seconds. But that was fun. And I would suggest to you, Dmytro, always read them out. It's a bit of fun. It's always fun. If a lot of people go over, then just say da 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 went over or whatever. But it is important for people who enter competitions. I was disqualified once in a competition for being 1 second over time. 1 second over the 30 seconds that's allowed. General is Christina Kuper, DTM, yes.
Wow, what a cocktail we have been served today in this meeting. I totally agree that when you have a mix of people who come from different backgrounds, different culture, it really is a cocktail. And then when you throw in the mix that we have our own preferential of how we run club meetings in our different clubs, we have different expectations when we come together. But I must say, I have to congratulate the team that held the meeting today, the president of the club, Zoom Master, the TME, the evaluators and the speakers, and timer, grammarian, counter, all the role takers. Well done on handling your roles today. We managed to start on time. Let me tell you what I liked about today's meeting. TME, he checked, is this role holder here today? He checked on everybody and we all said, yes, we're here. So we had the first 5 minutes to settle down into our roles. Well done for checking on everybody. As we are not the original or not members of the, I don't know how to pronounce the name of your club, Dnipro club, that you, the Zoom master, you helped us to understand what's the structure. Although you shared the agenda with all of us, you helped us to understand the structure as it unfolds. And you also helped to guide the CME for this meeting today, which is, I believe is a show of your leadership skills. Thank you very much for displaying that. Then we started with the president. President, you welcomed everybody. You introduced the guests. You made sure everyone had you made sure that they feel at ease. You put them at ease. And then you handed it back to the TME, seasoned Toastmasters. You gave us housekeeping rules. You said us what's the environment for us to operate from today's meeting. Then you handed off the floor to your team to introduce their roles. Well done, timer. Introduce it very well. You came prepared. I see the timer name behind you. You got your digital hand up so that you can be pinned in the first, the place so that everybody can pick you up quickly, especially the speakers and the evaluators. Thank you for doing that. Visual, easy to spot. You explain the timing and you show the colors. Well done. And grammarian, you introduced the role, you explained the word of the day and you explained how to use it and you gave examples. Then we came back to the program where the TME, you introduced the speakers, their titles, and a bit of their project. Although preferentially, as mentioned by two people in the meeting today, they said that it's an evaluator who would give the objective of the speech to set the scene because every speech is different so that the audience can understand the speech in its right context. However, in this club, as this is an online cocktail meeting, we had plenty to pick from to understand how different clubs have different ways of introducing their speeches and how evaluators will pick up from there. Thank you so much for that. You master, you guided us also along the way. You posted the links for evaluation, helped everybody to stay on track. And then we went from the speakers into the evaluation. I would like to just make one recommendation for the first evaluator. As this is an online meeting in Toastmasters, body language also matters. We would like to see your video. Your video was off during your evaluation, so we didn't get the full depth of your evaluation. Please have your camera on. Maybe Zoom Master, you could check with the main role takers to see that they are prepared to take the stage. Although this is just a club meeting, it's practice. This is a sandbox. This is where we practice, take contest stages and other stages online. Turn your video on. Yes. Okay, great. Kevin, great example of structure of how to give evaluation. He had a great opening, a great reflection. He touched on the title. He gave 3 recommendations. He went straight into it, no messing about, and that's the crux of it. That's the meat that gives a speaker where to grow. We can say stuff about what we like, but if we don't tell them practically how they can improve, makes no sense, doesn't help anybody. Practical implementation on how they can grow. And you summarize and you close it very well. And I'd like to say again that the Toastmaster, you handle the transitions very well. You handed off the floor, asked for us to acknowledge each speaker, and handed off very well. Then we came to table topics. Tidy back to the club meeting theme, and the main point of the table topics question was centered around friendship. Well done on that. You explained how it works, you gave tips on how to be successful at it, and you went into your questions, asked for role takers. I like that. I also liked when you paused from your walk to ask a question. Because when you are moving about, some people might find it distracting, others might not. To help them to center on your question, to understand you better, stand still or sit still in one position, and it will help them to absorb better your question. We had other leadership skills that came out that was displayed, communication mastery that came out. I must acknowledge that, let me just pick up his name here, Eric. Eric, you did well to wait for your turn. You had your hand up for a while, wanted to answer a question. I don't think the Zoom master spotted you because you didn't have a digital hand up, you just had your physical hand up, so it wasn't easy to spot everybody maybe. But you let Don take a question and you came back into it smoothly and you integrated his answer into your answer, which, you know, I was like, guy knows how to handle communication tactics. Wonderful, wonderful way of putting it back into, let's say, have a space where people can learn, embrace each other's ideas and grow from there. Very, very, I would say the spirit of Toastmaster came through. Thank you very much, Eric. You engaged Don in there. Let's go to listening analytical skills. I think this is something that even though we come from different backgrounds that we could enhance. I'm sorry, timer, just gonna say one last thing here. Listening analytical skills. Pay attention to the agenda of each club. They may not follow your club style, but if you enhance your listening observation skills, you can learn to follow the rules that they set, learn to appreciate the way their club culture works, and everyone can still enjoy a great online cocktail. Thank you to the team. Thank you very much for all the reports. I really appreciate this opportunity to be with you today. Thank you very much to everybody. We had a great meeting today. Thank you. Back to you.
Natalie, you're not applauding. Come on, that's lovely. That's terrific. That was gorgeous, Christina. That was lovely. That was a proper general evaluation. I like it, very detailed. But this has been a terrific meeting. I couldn't agree more with Christina about the screen being on. Yes, I'm very keen on that. I mean, I'm in show business, so we love screen time. We love stage time. We love being out there entertaining people. Cannot understand why people have their screens off unless you're speaking from Africa or someplace like that where it costs you an awful lot of money to be on the screen. I can understand that, but I do not. I'm very open about this. I do not understand, Kevin, why people haven't got their screens on. I can say that to Kevin. We're very good friends. We're very good friends. And he still hasn't got a screen on, but there we go. I love to see the full screen. It's tremendous. And I hope that I'm correct in saying the president will ask what the visitors thought of the club. But listen, when you come to Eastbourne, look me up. I'm very easy to find. I'm very easy to find. Just go on the net and put Deck Cluskey in and all my details so that you can get in touch. Come to England, come to Eastbourne, and I will take you to the port and I will buy you the best martini. Tremendous. Got me up very early this morning, but I don't mind. It's been terrific. This has been a beautiful meeting. This is a brilliant club, and I would hazard a guess that this is possibly the best club. Over to you, Mr. President, to finish the meeting. Bye.
Please let's give a round an employee. It was terrific. It was gorgeous. Totally perfect. Thank you. Thank you. We have a lot of things to learn from you. Thank you for joining. Thank you, all our DTMs, all our Toastmasters, all our guests. I'm really happy that all our newcomers, they managed to show up. They managed to participate. It's really great, and I'm very grateful that our experienced members, they have such useful and fruitful feedbacks, and it just very nice that we have a lot of things to learn from you. So our meeting is closed, and I'm very happy. I've been very happy to be present here at the president. Thanks for this. And after that, we're going to have some after party. So thanks again. Lester, can you just continue that?
Yeah, we should make final photo and make some announcements for.
Would you like to ask how the guests felt? Would you like to ask the opinion of the guests? It's customary.
Yeah, sure. But let's just make a final photo. So I just ask to everyone who can switch on your camera and smile, and I make some print screens, and it will be save this memory for all of us in social media. Yeah, I see. Abhijit and Don, if you can. Yeah, we are waiting, Eliza. Okay, just smile. Yeah, I see. Kevin, flag is so cute. Okay, thanks to everyone. And just two announcements, what we plan to do in September. First of all, in September, we should hold the humorous contest and table topic contest. So all our members are invited to take part in this. We plan to do it in hybrid format, so all online and in-person members can join. So just send a message to Natalie, our educational coach, and she will give us more details. Maybe we will make it in September 17th. So we'll just go in touch with all our announcements. And another good meeting we plan in September, it will be a joint meeting with World Travelers Toastmasters clubs. It's club our Eliza. Actually, she asked us to make this joint. It will be on September 25th. So also just keep in touch in all of the announcements if you wanted to be with us and to have this international experience also. I think Eliza will tell also about her club as well. Just after the ending. And once more, Best Odesa Speakers Club, Sergii Radchenko also just mentioned you that they tried to make English speaking meetings every Sunday, so also you can follow them as well and join on the meeting. And with all these things, we can close the meeting and we can just start after a beautiful after party. And Dak, it's time to you. You wanted to ask members about guests about how about something. Yeah, you can try to do this.